Hello dear viewers, a very warm welcome to our channel. It's very good to have you here. In this video we are going to have a look at how to diagnose a bad wheel bearing. A wheel bearing is a crucial component of vehicle assembly. It allows the wheel to rotate smoothly while supporting the weight of the vehicle. Wheel bearing is a set of steel bolts or rollers encased in a metal housing. It enables the wheel hub to turn freely while minimizing friction. Well, let's have a look at some of the functions. It supports the weight. Wheel bearing supports the entire weight of the vehicle. It facilitates rotation. They allow the wheel to rotate smoothly around the axle, which is essential for vehicle movement. By providing low friction surface, they reduce friction. Wheel bearings help reduce wear on both bearing and the axle. And they also help in maintaining alignment. They also help keep the vehicle aligned properly, which is vital for safe handling and tie wear. There are different types of wheel bearings. Some of them are ball bearings. These are typically found in lighter vehicles. They consist of small balls that allow for a smooth rotation. Some of them are ball bearings. These are used in heavier vehicles and designed to handle more load by using cylindrical rollers instead of balls. And some of them are hub assemblies. Modern vehicles often use sealed hub assemblies that combine wheel bearings with the wheel hub, providing convenience and durability. Diagnosing a bad wheel bearing is very crucial for maintaining vehicle safety and performance. Let's have a look at a step-by-step guide to help you identify a failing wheel bearing. Well, let's begin by talking about the symptoms of a bad wheel bearing. The first and most common symptom of a bad wheel bearing is unusual noise. Humming, growling, or grinding noise that increases with engine speed is an indication of a bad wheel bearing. The noise may change when turning. It gets louder when turning one direction, quieter when turning in the other direction. The other symptom of a bad wheel bearing is steering wheel vibration. A vibration or shaky steering wheel, especially at higher speed, is an indication of a failing wheel bearing. Uneven tire wear is also a symptom. Excessive or uneven tire wear on one side, which can indicate bad wheel bearing. Wheel wobble is another symptom of a failing wheel bearing. When the wheel feels loose or wobble, when you physically shake it, it indicates a failing wheel bearing. And the other symptom is ABS warning light. A failing wheel bearing can trigger the ABS light if it interferes with the wheel speed sensor. Now, how can you go about and diagnose a bad wheel bearing? Well, first, listen for unusual noises. Drive the vehicle at varying speed and listen for humming, grinding, or growling noise. If the noise changes when turning left or right, it can help identify which side the bad bearing is on. For example, if noise gets louder when turning right, most probably the left wheel bearing is faulty. When noise gets louder when turning left, most probably the right wheel bearing is failing. The other thing you can do is check for play in the steering wheel. Lift the vehicle using jack and secure it with jack stands. Then grab the wheel at the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock positions and try to rock it back and forth. If there is excessive play or movement, the wheel bearing may be worn out. The other thing you can do is spin the wheel. With the vehicle lifted up, spin the wheel by hand. Listen for grinding or rough noises which indicate bad bearing. Inspect for heat. After driving, carefully feel the wheel hub. Be cautious as it might be very hot. A wheel bearing that is failing may generate excessive heat due to friction. And the other thing you can do is check the ABS system. If the ABS light is on, use an OBD2 scanner to check for wheel speed sensor codes. A bad wheel bearing can damage the sensor or it can turn ring, causing ABS issues. Make thorough visual inspection. Look for signs of grease leakage around the wheel hub. Check for rust or damage at the bearings assembly. By doing so, you can pinpoint a wheel bearing that is going bad. So after driving, carefully touch the hub assembly of each wheel. If one hub is significantly hotter than the other, then it may indicate a failing bearing. While driving, make sharp turns, sharp left and right turn, If the noise changes, if it gets louder or quieter when turning, it often points to a bad wheel bearing as well. You can also use a stethoscope. If you are comfortable using tools, consider using a mechanic stethoscope. Place it against the wheel hub while the vehicle is in gear. Make sure that the vehicle is safely supported. Then listen for internal noise that can pinpoint a failing wheel bearing as well. You can also inspect for grease leak. If accessible, inspect the grease in the wheel bearing assembly. Contaminated or insufficient grease can lead to failure. Pay attention to any vibrations felt through the steering wheel. This can indicate a problem with the wheel bearing, especially if it felt at certain speeds. That usually indicates a failing wheel bearing. Some of the symptoms also include noise like clanking or knocking sound. If you hear clanking or knocking sound, particularly when hitting bumps, it may also suggest issues with the wheel bearing or other suspension system components. The ABS warning light, if it comes on, it could indicate an issue with the wheel speed sensor, which may be affected by a failing wheel bearing. If the wheel bearing is damaged, then it can interfere with the normal operation of the wheel speed sensor that provides a speed signal to the ABS, so the ABS light might come on. So, a failing wheel bearing lead to wheel detachment, loss of control, and accident. Properly functioning wheel bearings ensure smooth driving and handling. Regular maintenance and timely replacement of worn bearing can extend the life of the wheel assembly and improve vehicle performance. So, wheel bearings are very essential for the safe and efficient operation of your vehicle. Understanding their function and importance can help in recognizing symptoms of failure and ensure timely maintenance. If you notice any of these symptoms and confirm if there is a play, if there is unusual noise, if there is excessive heat generated at the bearing, then it's time to replace the wheel bearing. Driving with a bad wheel bearing can completely lock up the wheel sometime in the future. It can damage the hub and it can damage the axle, or it can even interfere with brake component, and then it may also increase risk of accident. So if you happen to notice that the wheel bearing is faulty, replace it immediately. If you're unsure, then it's time to consult professional mechanic for thorough inspection. Replacing a wheel bearing is a very critical repair that ensures your vehicle safety and performance. Well, dear viewers, that is all we have for you regarding what you can do in order to inspect your wheel bearing and how to diagnose a bad wheel bearing. If you find this video helpful, please smash the like button. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications so that you'll be the first to get notified whenever we come up with another video. Until then, stay safe.